America's the greatest country in the world. Glad you're here. Got a ton to do today. I want to get right to it real quick. The other day, like 2 days ago, in passing, we mentioned Drew Brees and now his multiple apologies. And his wife has now apologized in this Instagram post. And she said, "We are the problem." And she said something like I'm not, like we don't actively look for racism around us or something like that. And I made some comment like, maybe that's the problem, right? Perhaps the opposite is true. That's the theme of our show. Perhaps people are looking, it's not that they're not looking hard enough. Perhaps people are looking too hard for racism around us. And here's just a good example of this, right? It's all over the place, but here's a good example. So the press secretary, McKinney, she called Biden advisor Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Okay, so she called AOC an advisor to Biden. And AOC wrote back this. She said, she wouldn't be the first person to mistake a woman of color for having a lower position or title than she does. But Kaylee, in case you haven't picked up a newspaper in 2 years, I'm a congresswoman. And then she says, the press secretary's comment is steeped in a long, by the way, she called her Biden's advisor. Okay, not peon or some demeaning thing, advisor. But that is steeped in a long, hurtful, and horrendous history of stripping women of color of titles and diminishing them to the help. Perhaps she isn't aware that what she did is mired in racist history. And if that's the case, I look forward to her apology tomorrow. Right? So that would be looking for racism. You get called Biden's advisor, and it's like, oh, that is steeped in racist history. Good night. To which the press secretary wrote back, Kaylee, she said, read the transcript, Congresswoman. That sentence, here's what she actually said. She said, yes, it's a really good question. The president is appalled by the defunded police movement. The fact that you have a sitting congresswoman wanting to fund the police, notably Rashida Tlaib, congresswomen, notably Rashida Tlaib, notably Biden advisor AOC, formerly, right? In the same sentence, she actually did call her a congresswoman. Okay? But it doesn't matter. It's all about being a victim all the time, nonstop. Racism is everywhere. And that's what I want to talk about for a couple segments here, if we can. I want to take some time on this and sit on this because there's this term going around called anti-racist. And we all need to know what this is because if you're not it, if you don't follow along and say that you're an anti-racist, then you are a racist. You're one or the other. So I want to quote here Andrew Sullivan. He wrote an article back, it was November 15th last year, 2019. So it was before all this kicked up. And he wrote an article called The Intersectional Left's Endgame. So it's the progressive left, the woke, Black Lives Matter crowd. Where's this all going? And he's writing specifically about a super popular book right now. It's probably the second most popular book. The most popular book right now is White Fragility by Robin DeAngelo, and we quoted that last week. We broke all that down. The second most popular book is Ibram X. Kendi's How to Be an Anti-Racist. So let me quote. This is Andrew Sullivan quoting from the book. Right? Everything in the world, he argues, everything is either racist or anti-racist. This is a quote of his. There's no such thing as a non-racist or race-neutral policy. Inequity is defined as any difference between any ethnic groups in their average outcomes in any field of life or work. Therefore, any policy that leads to any racial differentials in anything, this is a quote from the book, that doesn't roughly reflect the racial demographics of the society is ipso facto racist, okay? So years ago on the radio show, we talked about restorative justice, and the foundation of that is because more students of color are suspended and disciplined than white students. So a rule in a school that says you can't punch a teacher, truly, a rule that says you can't punch your teacher in the face, if that's the rule, and a disproportionate number of black kids versus white kids punch their teacher in the face, that rule is racist. I'm gonna give your brain a second to process that because it's insane. And your brain's like, wait, what? So it is racist to have a rule that says you can't physically attack your teacher because more black kids physically attack their teacher. But black students are like 13% of the population, black people 13, 14%. So even if just more than 13% of the kids who attack their teacher are black, then the rule itself is racist. That's what that is, all right? And that was the beginning of restorative justice. Slater Crusaders, thanks for watching the first on YouTube. If you want more, like, subscribe. We got plenty.